Hari Om. Good evening to all of you. A very warm welcome. Please come. Let's pray and take the blessings together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, who also has the divine names Rohitaha, Margaha. To such a divine Lord, together with Prapatti and Bhakti, we offer our humble salutations. To seek your grace, your love, your mercy, your affection, your strength, your forgiveness, your compassion. O Lord, enhance the divine qualities in us, such as Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshutvam, only and only to understand Thy true nature, to have the first-hand experience, oppurchunity, right within us. We beseech in you again and again, day after day, that this experience has to be in this lifetime alone. Please grant us this boon. bless us. Whatever we need to do, make this body, mind and senses do all that is required to achieve this Aparoksha Anubhuti. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives, we reach thy heavenly abode. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 349. The 21st of September 2023, Shobhakrit Nama Samvatsara, Dakshinayana, Varsha Rutu, Bhadrapada Masa, Shukla Paksha, Brahaspati Vasare, Shashti Titau, Anuradha Nakshatra, Priti Yoge, Garaja Karane. On this auspicious day of Thursday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve. Na ham karta hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartam. We completely disown this body, mind and senses. It's nothing but a creation of the Lord. I am that pure consciousness expressing through this body, mind and senses. Therefore, every situation, every circumstance, every incident, every happening is only and only at the behest of the Almighty. Those chosen jivas are all set for a transformation and enlightenment. Situations come in our life only and only to improve the dispassion, vairagya bhava in our lives. God, who is the merciful, He is not here to punish us. He is not here to trouble us. He is not here to cause harm to us. Understand that it is only and only to increase that dispassion towards the world and increase the love and bhakti towards the Lord. So I accept everything with that prasada buddhi and work with a smile, with that same amount of kindness, with zero frustration. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you once again. So, now as you all have seen, Arjuna's questions primarily, he's talking about, once again he makes a request to Lord Krishna. You have told me so many things. Now we are on the 5th chapter, 3rd Shloka. In the entire 4 chapters, you have been giving me so much of gyan, that is knowledge. Sometimes you praise Karma Yoga, sometimes you praise Jnana Yoga, sometimes you praise Sannyasa Yoga. Krishna, I am not able to understand. Now, forget the knowledge part. Just tell me what suits me, that's all. I don't want to know anything else. What you know me as a person, just tell me what suits me the best. Now understand, we are all in line with Arjuna. He is a Grahastha. We too are a Grahastha. So whatever Arjuna is asking over here, it applies to us as well. That is what we should understand. Okay, so now we discussed about an analogy where if you are traveling, say, to the US, now what we have to do, we have to take a car to the airport, and from the airport you have to take a flight to the country to which you are willing to go or wanting to go. So now if somebody says, come, let's take a car to the airport, you say, why should I? Tell me one thing. I either take the car or I take the flight. So it is as ridiculous as that. Now you can't say that you have to take either of the two. No. You have to, these both lead to the same destination, but you can't do it with one. So I'll break this analogy and try to make you understand. The first part, going to the airport, is like you're preparing yourself for that great flight, where you are offering all your karmas on a daily basis to the Lord, and you're purifying your mind, you're well prepared, and then you take the flight, which is the second step, where you're completely engrossed in God and God alone. See, we have two ways of behaving in this world. One is nivritti and one is pravritti. Now, pravritti is where you are working outward, where you're all engaged in the world. Extrovert, which is called as extrovert, where you are connecting with people, you're doing a job, or you're doing a business, or you're doing some kind of an activity, earning a livelihood, raising a family. That is extrovertedness. Now the other aspect is introvertedness, nivritti, where you completely go inside. But what happens is, without having reached a level of consistency in the extrovertedness, where you have not controlled yourself, slowly withdrawing from the extrovertedness and coming to a point where you are at the borderline of introvertedness, until then you cannot enter introvertedness. So if you have already reached the airport, then fine, you don't have to take a car again, you have to just take the flight. But if you are still en route to the airport, you have to continue your journey till you reach the airport by car or by bus or whatever it is. This is a very simple way to understand. So now where is Arjuna? Arjuna is an extrovert. He's all engrossed in activities of the world. So the Lord says, for you, Karma Yoga suits the best. When you are about, say, 20 or 30 or 40 kilometers away from the airport, you can't tell him take a flight. You have to say, first take a car to the airport. Then you get onto the flight. But a person who has already reached, then for him, he doesn't need to take a car at all. Just board the flight and fly. So in this way now, Lord Krishna tells him that Karma Yoga is best suited for you. Now he starts further talking about Karma Yoga, because somewhere, Arjuna wants to get away from the warfield. That is what is in his mind. And what is in Lord Krishna's mind? He wants to establish Dharma and he wants Arjuna to fight. And who is going to do the fighting? The Lord himself is going to do everything. But he has to do through somebody. He is not going to fight. He needs a body, and he has chosen Arjuna as a body to achieve whatever he wants. Okay, so now the third verse goes as follows. I did not post it on a slide, so I'll just read it out to you. Shri Bhagavan ज्ञेयस्य नित्य संन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते. Samyak Nyasaha Sanyasaha. If you break this, he's talking of Sanyasi. Gneyasa Nitya Sanyasi. He openly tells, if you are working in this world, giving up the fruit of actions, dedicating your action towards the Lord, and having an attitude of na dveshti na kankshati, meaning I want this, I don't want this. These are two important things which we all do in our lives. If you see, each and every activity is what I want, and some cases I don't want. But what happens in our life? The reverse happens. What we want never comes to us. Never meaning it seldom comes to us. And what we don't want, it chases us. This is how life is. Okay. So the one who has won over this, na dveshti na kankshati, that want and like and dislike. So the Lord says, forget about he becoming a sannyasi. He is already a sannyasi, he says. See, this is what many times we feel, I think I should have got out of this household rut and focused myself completely on sadhana. I have got nothing else to do. Okay, I go for bhiksha here and there and I get some bhiksha and fine. Rest of the time I sit and meditate, I always contemplate. That doesn't work. Mind has to be fully prepared. And when it is prepared, it will automatically happen. When sleep takes over, you don't have to, you try, you sleep, you lie down on the bed and say, sleep. You will not sleep. You are in activity. You will not be able to sleep. Just rest. Stop thinking. And then slowly, without your knowledge, you will go off to sleep. In the same way, on the path of spirituality as well, you can't say, I'm going to withdraw completely. What the Lord says, do karma yoga on these lines. And if at all you are still in samsara, if you are in grahastha, then he says, if you are able to manage your likes and dislikes, na dveshti na kankshasi, if you are able to do this, then take it from me that you are already a sannyasi. You are already a sannyasi. This is what is so important for us. That what you call a badge or a title, sannyasi, it sounds great. But you don't have to truly renounce everything and go. That is only, it is like a way of life. You may be using a particular dress over there. You may be using a particular lifestyle. But as far as your mind is engrossed in this dvandas are the pairs of opposite. And if you are in the cycle of na dveshti na kankshati, meaning I want this, I don't want this, then even you, although you have taken up sannyasa, but it is not that. So this assurance the Lord gives. So now let's understand the meaning of sanyasaha. What is that? Samyak means very well. Nyasaha, sanyasaha. What is done very well is sanyasaha. And what is nyasaha? What is done very well? Nyasaha, giving up. What one has to give up here? Not just giving up material things. No, 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 no. There are many people who give up material things, and they sit down and they say, now I'm a sannyasi. But all the time they're thinking about their food, their the money for their travel, and then where do they get clothes. It is not about giving up material things, but by being established in that supreme truth. So the true giving up, the right way of giving up, that is sannyasa. And there's another meaning for sannyasa. Satinyasaha sanyasaha. Sati means sat vastuni, in sat, the truth. One who places his mind, manaha, buddhi, mind, intellect, chitta, ahankara, his memory, his ego, pranada, all his senses, everything he establishes in that supreme truth. He transcends from the material world, and he has now understood, as I see a universe with so many stars, galaxies, Milky Ways, in the same way I see that kind of a universe within this body. It's no joke what is happening within your body. It is something which you understand, then you will appreciate, and you will say, my God, I should never claim ownership over this body. I have done nothing. I don't even know what is happening. So transcending from the material things of the world, when a person gets established in that highest truth, and when he recognizes that this is the truth, the satya, this is shashvata, permanent, and he lives in that truth, as is, whatever job he is doing. He may be a cobbler, he may be a shepherd, he may be a teacher, he may be a politician, he may be a businessman, he may be a professional. Whatever he is doing, he knows the truth. All this is nothing but that consciousness expressing through this body, mind, and senses. As it is expressing through my body, mind, and senses, in the same way it is expressing through your body, mind, and senses. That same one consciousness, being in that truth, the one who lives in such a way and completely devoid of the worldly thoughts, such a person is a sannyasi then and there. This is what the Lord declares. Don't go by the other standards. Like, for example, what is your lifestyle? What is your hairstyle? What is your dressing style? All these don't matter. What matters is your mental framework. Basically meaning your mental style. What is in your mind? What is the understanding of yourself? What is the understanding of the world? And what is the understanding of the supreme truth? So the prominent factor for a sannyasi is that he is established in that supreme truth. That bhavana, what we call that thought in one's mind. So a vision of the sannyasi will not be to stop at the materialistic things. But he will, whatever is there, he understands it. That it is the prarabdha of this jiva. I am not this jiva. This body, mind, senses has done some good deeds in the past, and it is getting whatever good it needs to get. That way, he does not get connected to that jiva bhava. He is emerging out of it. So, such a true sannyasi who has made a firm resolve, for such a soul, all worldly things will slowly start detaching. Meaning he is no more attracted to them, even if he is in the midst of the worldly things. He's in the midst of lot of luxury. He just understands that this luxury is for that jiva, and I am the witness of the jiva and the luxury around that jiva. That's it. He becomes an onlooker. He becomes a drashta. Rest all is drishya. He becomes a seer. Rest all is seen. He neither is a bhokta nor is a karta. But if someone who does not realize this supreme truth gets onto this path of sannyasa, fascinating, he just says, no, there is something great, and they get on to sannyasa. He sits down to meditate, he sits down to do a job, worldly thoughts coming in. My roof is leaking, there are pests all around, and my door, it doesn't have a lock. I don't have a toilet. Where do I get a meal? I can't keep going to the same houses every now and then. These worldly things. He's worried about these worldly things. He has not made any arrangements for all this. And he has just renounced and he has gone. His mind is not mentally prepared. Such a person becomes a brashta. Brashta means corrupt. He will not know what to do. Not know where to live. How to live. Not knowing what is happening to him. He becomes a prey to a great fall. Fall means patana. A straight deep dive. That should not be the way. See, we have seen snakes. They give away the dead skin. And dead skin is like a complete replica of that snake. It doesn't have anything inside, but otherwise it's so scary, it looks like exactly like a snake. Now this dead skin, actually the snake does not give up. When the new skin is completely formed within it, the dead skin naturally leaves the snake. It's a natural process. First the new skin is developed within, and the dead skin automatically comes out. In the same way, a true sannyasi, he naturally should take up the higher. He should not force himself. The rest of his attachments of the world, desires of the body and senses, they should naturally drop by without any effort of the yogi. That is true sannyasa. But there could be a grahastha or a brahmachari who goes on to sannyasa, where he sees that by being established in the supreme truth, by knowing what is permanent, by knowing what is higher, he gradually withdraws from the sensory pleasures. Why? What is the reason one has to withdraw from the sensory pleasure? It is because it disturbs. You take something and then you say, I want something better. Then after you get something better, you say, I want something still better. And then you say, I want something more. See, that is the job of the mind. So, mind and senses, they work hand in hand. So, when you stop the mind and senses working, then you can dive within yourself. So, in this way, Lord Krishna, he gives an explanation of the characteristics of such a yogi. Jnaya sa nitya sannyasi. So when someone is a sannyasi, he's always a sannyasi. Nitya sannyasi. So here nitya means one who has to be inwards completely. With attention, not just when he puts on his dress, he becomes a sannyasi. No. When, okay, now I've worn orange clothes and now I become a sannyasi. Now it's evening time, I need to go to bed, and maybe you take off your orange clothes, meaning I'm off that knowledge. No. So, who is such a sannyasi? Na dveshti na kankshati. 2 words in his mind. What the Lord says is, he does not have 2 things in his mind. I'm giving another version of this, na dveshti na kankshasi. One is mine, and the second one is me. I, me is the second one. The first one is mine. So the one who has crossed over these 2 is a true sannyasi. If you are constantly thinking of mine, that becomes attachment. Something is yours. You are attached to it. You don't want to lose it at any cost. The more you think of anything, the more you become attached to it. Look at your own self. No? It could be a person, place, or an object. The more you think about anything, you get more and more attached. And that thought keeps coming to your mind again and again. So now what this attachment does? This attachment brings forth the raga and dvesha which the Lord is talking about. The likes and dislikes. Now you possess something. You develop a liking towards it. You always say, I want this. I want to protect this. I want this to grow. I want this to be with me always. And what you dislike is you don't want anybody to harm it. The moment somebody tries to snatch it away from you or harm it or destroy it, what happens? You immediately get a strong feeling of disliking towards that person. Look at your own self. Go on a playback mode. Say, for example, your own son or a daughter who was so obedient and so loving, so caring, and now that girl or that boy, your daughter or son, they fall in love with somebody. Now what is happening is the love between that son-daughter and their lover, it grows over a period of time. And at one point of time, they want to get married. Now the parents say no. For whatever reason, they are interested in the welfare of their child. They have seen something and they say no. Immediately the child reacts. It could be with anything. It could be with, you can start with an ice cream or a chocolate or a toy or some dress, or it is like going for a holiday, picnic, whatever it is, or even a stayover, night stayover. When they like something, they're attached to it, and you say no, immediately there is a burst. So, Lord Krishna says, this is something extremely difficult for a human to do. Only the true sannyasi can do this. He will not be attached to anything. That feeling of mine, he has completely surrendered. And then the next one is ahankar, the feeling of ego, me, I. Now I did, I go, I come, I gave, all this I do, all this is, kartrutva and bhoktrutva, which takes you back into the wheel of samsara. So one who is above these traits, raga dvesha, where there is no kartrutva, bhoktrutva, he is a true sannyasi. So one who has truly understood the range of its impermanence. Let's say you have a dog at home and you are so fond of the dog. The amount of love the dog showers on you, you would want to come back home and meet your dog. But it is not permanent. At some point of time, 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, it passes away. So this understanding, knowing that nothing is permanent over here, this person, although he is behaving that he is attached to somebody, but at the same time, he is in a state of detachment. So therefore, na dveshti na kankshati. Such a person will not think, if I have this, if I don't have this, these questions will not come. See, these are common things where we are stuck in life. If I had this, it would have been so nice. If I would have got rid of this, it would have been so nice. So, na dveshti na kankshati also brings you to a state that such thoughts will not be present. Imagine whatever is being taught over here, if you had just got the knowledge soaked in and you have practiced and you become a master on this, how wonderful life will be. Just think, imagine, visualize. This is such a great thing. So this is where he says, you are a true sannyasi. A sannyasi means you are at the peak of a human race. So such thoughts will never come. I wish I had this, wish I didn't have this. You have a disease. You will say, my God, wish I didn't have this here. It's so disgusting always. So like this, with that Ishvara Bhavana, Prasada Buddhi, he understands that everything he experiences in life is nothing but a play of that Ishvara. Again and again listening to the wisdom what Lord Krishna is giving, such a person is in that state of paripurnataya or paripurnatva, state of completedness. So in the chapter 2, verse 49, Lord Krishna says, Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudram apa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kama kami. He says such a person, how he becomes, just as the numerous rivers flow into the ocean, that vast ocean, and whatever be the amount of water which is entering that ocean, that does not disturb the calmness of the ocean. Similarly, one who can control his desires. What way? Na dveshti na kankshati. I want this, I don't want this. That is all about desires. So if you can control that desires, he attains peace. And not the person who runs after fulfilling his desires. Such an important saying, Lord Krishna. So you have to cultivate. First you should know what to cultivate, and now after having understood. So just like that ocean, it also doesn't become small or shrink as the water evaporates. Now we see lakes. We say, this is summertime. Where is water? We say, this is a lake. Where there is water? No water. No, you say, because it is summer, no? So all the water has evaporated. And then you say, see, this lake, my God, it is overflowing. When I came in summer, now I come in rainy season, it is overflowing. You say, yeah, because it is rainy season. So, the ocean does not seem to you that way. Go at any point of time in the year, it is always the same. It neither shrinks nor it swells. It always maintains its glory. In the same way, such a yogi will not be disturbed by losing something or elated by gaining something. Gneyassa nitya sanyasi yona dveshti na kankshati. And further in the second line he says, Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukam bandhat pramuchyate. Another important saying he says, Nirdvandvo, like, dislike. Mahabaho, ye Arjuna, sukam bandhat pramuchyate. Peace is always in his pocket, meaning he has mastered over peace. He has become a master of peace. How? Na dveshti na kankshati. I want this, I don't want that. And second one is Nirdvandvo na mahabaho. In his life there is nothing like there is joy, sorrow, pain, pleasure, honor, dishonor, all these pairs of opposite are completely mastered by this person. He comes to that stage of acceptance. As we say this prayer, why are we saying this prayer again and again on a daily basis? Every time before the class we say this is, oh Lord, give me that strength. Where it is indicating? Back to this. We are all on the path of becoming that Nitya Sannyasi, because we are saying it to our mind again and again. And I would recommend we all should, morning, evening, and also in between, if possible, we should say this prayer to ourselves and observe ourselves. Where am I going? Am I going on the right path? Am I accepting everything with that prasada buddhi, where I'm not getting disturbed? Yes, it will not suddenly show up with you. Like, you switch on a light, it glows completely. You switch off a light, there is complete darkness. No, it doesn't go that way. This is like that dimmer. Slowly, you dim the light. This is like that. Slowly the intensity. Initially, you are affected to say on a scale of 1 to 10, you are affected at 10. And then slowly it comes down to 9. And it comes down to 8, 7, 6. That way it comes down. And how you can describe this? When something happens to you, you experience, what? So and so happened. Now when you have mastered, you will say, so what? So what? That expression of that anxiety, that fear, and that ruggedness is no more there. 1 second. Sorry. So in this way, this person has that feeling of complete surrender. And we are the master of our own selves. We have to audit our own self and see where we stand on this path. Once in a village, there was an old farmer. And it so happened that, see, like we have cows and ox to help us in our field work. So this was a Mediterranean place, so that farmer had horses. And one day it so happened that he had one horse. Poor farmer. So that horse ran away. Without the knowledge of the farmer, some point it ran away. Now when the villagers heard about this, they all come and they offer condolences and they say, what a terrible misfortune. Oh my friend, you lost that one and only horse you had. How will you work on your farm now? They're so sorry for you. Now the old farmer replies, maybe it's a misfortune. Maybe it is not. We shall see. I accept the verdict of God. Everybody is laughing within. This looks like an idiot. What acceptance and all is talking. Now, how is he going to carry all the load? How is he going to do the horse's work? But it was all a shallow expression of condolence that had come. They all go away. Now, a few days later, what happens is that horse which had gone, it returns Now, along with it, it brings a magnificent wild stallion. Now, the villagers were amazed. A beautiful white stallion. It had a, a well-built body, amazing mane, a beautiful tail, and super white complexion. Now everybody came again, the villagers, and they started congratulating. What incredible luck! Now you have two strong horses. You are really fortunate, my friend. And what, you have a stallion has come. Stallion is its worth is like somewhere 500 crore or even up to 1 crore of rupees. That kind of a horse you got. Now the farmer again says, maybe it's good luck, maybe it's not. We shall see. It's God's grace. Whatever he has done, I accept. Okay. Now, the farmer's son, who was in his early 20s, he was excited by the arrival of this new horse. And it was a wild horse. So what he did is he started training it. Slowly he was trying to bring it under control and to obey commands. And he was domesticating that horse. In the course of doing it, he fell off from the horse one day and he broke his leg. Now again the villagers came. All of them, they came and they were consoling that old farmer and said, what a tragedy. Oh my God. We all thought this brought good luck for you, and look, your only son, now he has broken his leg. How unfortunate, and we don't know when and how he'll be all right. We are so sorry. And they started pitying. Now this old farmer, he again calmly says, maybe it is a tragedy. Maybe it is not. Let us see. Whatever God has sent me, I accept it. Now the son is sitting with that bandage, incapable of doing his own chores. Pitiable condition. A few weeks later, war broke in that region, in that part of the country, and all the young men from the villages were asked to join the army. So now, because of this broken leg, the old farmer's son was deemed unfit for that service as a soldier, and he was left behind. Otherwise, all the youth of that village, they all were taken away. Now the villagers again, they come to the farmer, and amazed by his fortune, or its turn of events, they say, my God, you're so lucky. Your son is safe. What incredible luck you have. And this farmer, with a wise smile, he again says, maybe it is luck, maybe it is not. We shall see. I accept whatever God gives me. And he was in that state of ecstasy. Now this story highlights the essence of that dvandvas or duality is what we talk. So what may at first appear misfortune can turn into a blessing. Many a times I can see my own life. If something which I was dying for at some point of time, if it had happened, I would be in a much more pathetic condition than what I am today. Because it didn't happen that day, it gave me a lot of sorrow. Now, ignorant, no knowledge of anything. So like this farmers coming and going and telling him all this, in that way, oh God, what is this? I worked so hard and you didn't make this happen. But if I remember, if that had happened, I would have never come to this stage. So sometimes things which have not happened, they brought great luck for you in your life. So these dvandvas and dualities, now after getting knowledge, be established in that faith with the Lord. And as that old farmer's ability to maintain a balanced perspective, he did that. It allowed him to navigate through life's dualities without getting swept up in extremes or in extremes of joy or despair. So he understood that life unfolds in mysterious ways, and instead of attaching himself to the fluctuations of those external circumstances, he chose to embrace the uncertainty and remain equanimous. This is what we need to understand in our lives. In our own lives, we can learn from this story. And imagine these, what we learned today. We are getting the highest title, number 1. And number 2, what we are also understanding is we are trying to get peace and that sense of joy and happiness, experience of that joy and happiness constantly, because you are associated with the Lord. So God gives us the stature, He gives us the badge, the title that you are a Nitya Sannyasi. Practice this way. Now, if you have to talk of something on the lighter note, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he would always tell, why should you give up your being an householder? This was his common statement. He would say, be as a householder, and you can still achieve what you want to achieve in your life. But at the same time, he used to always tell, there were parents who used to bring they used to come with their young boys who wanted to become monks, and asking the boys to be seated outside. They used to enter his room and say, Maharaj, please tell these boys, they don't understand. They should get married, they should get a job, they should take care of us. So this way they used to tell. Now what Sri Ramakrishna used to tell them is, see, I tell them but they don't listen. What do I do? He used to tell them that. And as the boys come in, as the parents go out and the boys come in, then you tell the boys, if they are fit. Now see, this is important. If they have that right caliber, frame of mind, like as I told you, you are an extrovert, okay, you're moved outward. Now if you are able to be in the world, you are pulling yourself back, and you have come to the borderline of introvertedness. Okay, so he used to tell those boys, you would encourage them to become monks. And that's how it happened with Narendranath. Narendranath, he didn't have money, Swami Vivekananda. He didn't have money to take care of his family. In that dire state, he goes and tells Sri Ramakrishna, this is my state. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, I am not going to guarantee you any luxuries, but I will ensure that you get your 2 square of meal and 2 pair of clothes. This much I will ensure you. And that's how, because he saw that potential in Narendranath, he says, you join. So this way, you need the right. If you can't understand by your own self, you need some guru who can tell you what is right and what is wrong for you. This is how it is. So, householder life is such a struggle. It is not so much the external problem as a reaction to those problems. Meaning the problem is not that big, but what is big is our reaction to those problems. So once we are able to tame this raga and dvesha, what happens is, that is the raga dvesha means likes and dislikes. A mild word, raga literally means intense attachment, intense desire. Dvesha means dislike, repulsion. Once we are guided by that, and there are so many such sources where you are continuously, you are in that gambit of this like and dislike. So avoid expectation from the world. Avoid expectation from your spouse. Avoid expectation from your children. The more and more you reduce the amount of expectation, see how peace starts increasing in you multifold. And do it the other way, you will see that peace is going for a toss. There was one very famous psychologist in the US, Dr. Albert Ellis. Now what he tells is, he says the road to hell is paved with unrealistic expectations. Paved means the road is made. We have those pavers, those stones, the design stones where they interlock. We call them as pavers. So when you have expectations, when you have unrealistic expectations, you are nicely using those pavers. Expectations are like these pavers. You are making a nice road where it is taking you to hell. So he says he had a client, a lady client, he does not disclose the name. And that lady client, for almost 20 years, she was taking treatment from this Dr. Ellis. And one day, she hears from this doctor this particular quote: the road to hell is paved with unrealistic expectation. Suddenly she gets a flash. Why am I disturbed so much in life? Because of that one person who does not give her the right amount of respect and right amount of treatment what a normal person should get. She says, I deserve to be treated better than any normal person because he is my very close family member. And then she realizes that person is a drunkard, he's an alcoholic. All the time, during the day is drunk, during the night also is drunk. What can I expect from such a person? Even expecting a normal behavior from such a person is like you're paving a way towards hell, which was hell for us for the last 20 years. So she immediately, in that flash of light, she says, it is my foolishness that I'm expecting a normal behavior from a drunkard. See, this revelation, how it happened. So that resentment, that rage, what she had built up, she understood it was an unrealistic expectation, and she completely brushed him off. And immediately she became a normal person. She was on terrible medication. Now completely she stopped, because in her mind she realized that this person is not worth to be considered. So in life, if you go by the list of all the expectations we have and slowly start removing them, bring them under the category of unrealistic. Have something realistic and have another column unrealistic. Now, everything which is under realistic, slowly if you use this knowledge, you can push everything to unrealistic. And where is unrealistic taking you? It is taking you towards hell. And where is this realistic taking you? It is taking you to the Paramatma Loka, to heaven, to Kailasha, to Vaikuntha. So it is that knowledge what we have got now. We should understand what is permanent. Realistic is permanent, unrealistic is impermanent. Another category to understand better. So all our problems in life are because of this unrealistic expectations. The life is not a problem because of the family. Life is not a problem because of the relationships. Life is not a problem because of the possessions or with the duties or the responsibilities. Life is a problem because we do not know how to manage our expectations. So to manage our expectations, two things, raga and dvesha. Now if this whole thing is converted into karma yoga, I do not want anything from these people. I do not want anything from these relationships. No expectations. I understand this is a battlefield. But for me, this is an ashrama. For me, in fact, household is grihastha ashrama. And what is ashrama? Ashrama is a place for spiritual development. So this grihastha ashrama, I am spiritually getting developed here. I'm not expecting anything from anybody, but I'm going to love everybody, serve everybody, and do all the best I can do for everybody. There is only love, there is no attachment. So in this way, transform the karma into karma yoga, and then offering the fruits of that karma yoga, you do chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagrata. And with that chitta shuddhi and chitta ekagrata, you attain jnana. And with that jnana, you become one with the Lord. See, it's a process. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All the time you have to see, my work is, I'll take it as a sadhana and bring in that essence of that karma yoga in that sadhana, in that work, whatever we are doing. Change the attitude, that's all. So one has to consciously understand the concept here and implement in one's life, become an observer, and then you see that whatever we have are all unreasonable expectations in life. Give up that. Especially, like for example, somebody is married, let's say. Your son or your daughter is married. Now they are not getting a child. Now you want to become a grandparent, and you unnecessarily talk 100 things to your child, your son or daughter, whoever it is. Are ye karo, wo karo, ye karo, wo karo. What is this? You mean to say they don't want to become parents? They also want to become parents. Over and above that, they already are under pressure. Now we add pressure to them. Somebody is unwell. You mean to say that person wants to be unwell all the time? No. He wants to become well, but you start forcing on that person. You do this, you do that. I told you you didn't do this. I told you you didn't do that. So, unrealistic expectation from your side and also from the other person's side. So this way, what Lord says is, one needs to come out from that, be established in the supreme truth, and ponder over that permanency and be established on a continuous basis. Whatever ashrama you are, brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. So Lord says, you are fascinated by the word sannyasa, no, Arjuna? You become a sannyasa. Sanyasi, nitya sanyasi. Nitya means every day. You become that. When you do this. So do this, and right now you take that title. So this is how Lord Krishna tells him and cools him down. A very nice psychological twist he gives to Arjuna and brings him on the path of the right understanding. So we'll see what Lord Krishna has to say in the next verse, in the next class. I think next Tuesday happens to be an Ekadashi. Okay. We'll let you know in which case. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namah. Now we'll study 2 divine names today. Verse number 40 364 and 365. Viksharo rohito margo heturdamodaras sah mahidaro mahabhago vegavan mitashanah. Rohitah. Now, the term Rohita means fish. And this name has come to indicate Lord Vishnu because of his first incarnation as the fish. When the entire world was submerged in the waters of the deluge, the only living creatures that were available at that time could only be fishes. Lord could incarnate at that time only in the form of the fish. Therefore, here the term means one who had manifested to serve the living creatures as the fish among the fishes. Rohitaha. 365. Margaha. Margaha means the path. In order to realize the highest, which is the nameless and formless, human mind will have to first hold on to a divine form. And that is Lord Vishnu. He is the way and the goal. In short, he is the one whom seekers of the highest meditate upon in order to reach the Supreme. To such a divine Lord, who is Rohitaha and Marga, we offer our humble salutations, and we again and again seek his blessings, mercy, and protection. Om Tat Sat. Now we chant the Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. We offer our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari to give us the right amount of health for God realization in this life and life alone. Om Sat. Now let's do the Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana, a very important process where you become the drashta, a watcher, and everything else, your mind, your thoughts, all become the drishya. So let's prepare ourselves. We start with the pranayama. 1:4:2. We'll do for a minute or so. Before that, we relax our body. Firstly, ease our body. Need to get up and sit down, do that. Completely relax your body. Your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Relax your forehead. Relax your face. Your neck. Your shoulders. Your upper body. Your lower body. Observe your breath going in and out. Now let's do the pranayam, breathing in through one nostril. Breathe in is one portion, hold is 4 times, and exhale is 2 times. And again come back to breathe in one portion again. So let's start our pranayam. Breathe in gently, hold and breathe out. Now slowly shift your attention to your mind. Become an observer of the mind. Watch the thoughts that come in your mind. Without judging the thoughts, allow the thoughts to pass by. Observe the number of thoughts are slowly reducing. Your mind is completely calm, serene. Relax your forehead. Your mind is peaceful. You are free of any agitation. You are free of any worry. You are free of any anxiety. Agitation, worry, fear, anxiety are all to the mind. You are not the mind. You are the witness of the mind. You are the witness to all the activities that are happening to the mind, to the body, to the senses, and to the intellect. You are that consciousness. You are that awareness. Expressing through this body, mind, senses. You are that infinite consciousness. Not this finite jiva. See your mind completely going inward, completely trained by you to obey your orders. Now slowly shift your attention from the mind and thoughts to the prana shakti within you. Observe your breath. Become aware of your true self. Breaking from the shackles of ignorance and bondage. Become aware of where you are seated. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together, we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord to seek His grace, mercy, blessings. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat.
Me too. I saw. Attitude from